coming down.
How's it, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Culture the Podcast. If I look a little flustered, it's because we just filmed an entire podcast with the mics turned off.
Why are you looking at me while you say it, bro?
It's my fault. My fault.
It's ultimately all my fault. This fucking podcast is all my fault.
Nobody's gonna hear my joke in the background that nobody got.
Yeah, I know. Oh, they'll hear that one.
No, the Ukraine. Did you hear?
Well, I heard you.
Did you hear what I said? Did you get the reference?
No, I figured I'd hear it in the editing and laugh my ass off.
Oh, because you said Zelensky, and I said, "Wow, sounds like an auto parts king from Chicago."
Tommy boy.
So I'm in the background. I was like, nobody laughed at my joke.
All right. So while we're on the topic, yeah. So the Ukrainian president's an actor.
Yes.
That's gonna be the clickbait. The Ukrainian president's an actor. No, yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah, that's known pretty.
We talked about a lot.
We did talk about a lot.
We jumped from baseball to golf.
But nobody else knows that.
To
except for us.
Pipelines. To
Tom Brady.
I want to let them know.
Trey Turner.
Kershaw's back. We touched on all that. So there you go. That's a
recap.
The first recap.
So now we don't got to talk about it.
Then we talked about Long Beach being a shitty beach because of the breakwater. Yeah. The breakwall. Yeah. And then, and those being actual derricks because of the Keystone Pipeline and gas prices. All really good stuff. Fantastic content.
I got gas today.
Did you?
How much?
It was
Costco?
30. I forgot how many gallons I got. I think I got about 30 gallons, give or take. No, about 32. $172.83.
What, Costco?
Costco.
What was the price?
$5.29.
$5.29?
Yeah.
$5.29 at Costco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, the station nearest was $5.89 for the 87.
Did you hear about those gas stations that fucked up and put like their gas at like $2.60 something? It's supposed to be like $6.90 something. And
oh, geez.
Some dyslexic person just flipped it.
Someone like me put the numbers up wrong.
$2.68.
And yeah, they went ham on those pumps. Yeah, the Ukrainian president is an actor.
Sweet transition.
Who played? Well, that was the big. That's where we left off of the last one. He was an actor. Played a role as a president, and the political party that he ran under in the show then became a political party, and then he won the actual presidency of the Ukraine. So he's been taking all these like badass like pictures. I was like, well, yeah, he's been acting in the role forever. No, I just think it looks a lot cooler. Oh, we were talking about Obama, and I said Obama's hands down the most charismatic president we've had in my lifetime.
Yeah.
I said I got a bit of Reagan, and Reagan seemed to be a pretty charismatic motherfucker too, but he was an actor, so he had that going for him. I think Obama was just I don't like making this. I'm not gonna make the comparison.
I'm curious to hear it. Like, I don't know what that.
His speeches controlled masses and got people fired up, and people trusted him. Like another figure in history that fell on the wrong side of the equation. I think you guys could piece it together.
Well, like, how would you say that person fell on the wrong side of the equation?
Because he murdered a bunch of Jews.
Oh, okay, that person. Okay. Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd hate to make that comparison, but that guy was also very charismatic and very powerful when he spoke. And I mean, but
Well,
A lot of it, I think, had to do with Obama's writer too. Obama's like whoever wrote his speeches.
Kumar.
Is that who it was?
From Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar, yeah.
He was one of the writers.
Was he one of his writers?
Correct.
I thought he just worked with the administration on things like that.
I thought he was one of Obama's, but I mean that was brief. Kumar.
Trying to watch the tournament over here.
Yeah, who's in the lead?
Cameron Smith.
Varner. Perfect.
It was 25 people within 3 shots about an hour ago. Now there's 4 people within 2 shots. And then
Who
just falls off.
Do you mind who those 4 are?
What hole is he on?
You guys pick something and stick with it.
Getting close.
You guys are all over the place. Has anybody ever told you that? You got Cameron Smith, Paul Casey, Lahiri, Bradley, and Hovland.
Oh, nice.
Say it again, sorry.
Cameron Smith, Paul Casey, Lahiri, Bradley, and Hovland are all within 4. Cameron Smith's leading at 12.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I haven't watched golf in probably since the Like, I haven't been watching golf regularly. I used to watch it it'd be on
all the
TV
time.
all the time. Like
Golf Channel.
Yeah, Golf Channel, just background.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It says in early 2009, Kalpan was offered the position of Associate Director of the White House Office of Public Engagement and Intergovernmental Affairs.
So he was an
Rolls off the
Obama
tongue.
writer.
So yeah, so he
Like I said.
so he did nothing.
No.
So
Yeah.
so
Who knows what that?
he sent out flyers. Is what he did.
Oh, I'm gonna find a little better one here.
He did movies, and then when they interviewed him, he talked about Obama. That's what he did. Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, he had
So he had,
writers.
Regardless, he had
great
some
writers.
good writers.
And then,
And he delivered.
to deliver, exactly. You
Yeah.
can have great writers. We have
Yeah.
great writers on this podcast, and the deliveries where we lack a little
Exactly.
bit. But apparently we're too fast, and and I wonder if he'll get the reference. Like, wait a second.
No.
No.
He's not gonna watch another episode.
I know, right? He's like, why?
It doesn't say exactly what he's did, other than that vaguely ass 6 adjective job description. So no idea.
So I'm gonna mark myself with the win.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You wrote, you're over Obama. Did you hear that? You hear that Kumar voted for Obama? I'll spread that shit. It's a hell of a narrative. The guy from
Well, I mean,
White Castle Burger.
Well, he was working for a House at the time. He was one of the doctors on House.
correct. Yeah.
Oh, I
Good
thought
lord.
you've been one of the
Great
writers
lord.
on House. I was like, Jesus, this guy's killing
He's
it.
killing the game.
Damn. Writing on that was a fantastic show. I mean, but
I don't think I ever watched an episode of House.
good show. What is his name?
His role was in the
Right.
Office of Public Liaison, which is responsible for communicating and interacting with various interest
Bro,
groups.
just Google did Kumar write Obama's speeches, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Who wrote Obama's speech?
If it says no,
Obama's speechwriters.
For fuck's sake.
it's gonna say the interior, descriptive liaison in charge of public communication for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
what it's gonna
terrible.
say.
Cody Keenan is an American political advisor and speechwriter, served as the director of speechwriting for Barack Obama.
Where that guy's
So.
a beast. That guy's a beast. Give it up, Cody. You're
That
a sick
was
writer.
like one impressive thing about Donald Trump.
So did John
like,
Favreau, by the way.
That's a different John Favreau, though.
Jonathan Favreau is American political commentator and
He doesn't
podcaster.
go as
That's a
Jonathan. He goes.
is it a different one?
He's John
It's
Favreau.
not like
Don't you go fucking putting
Mandalorian John Favreau.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah.
good.
Well, then I'm glad we can clear that up
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our 110 subscribers.
110.
Yeah,
You know the number.
I do.
I
I do my research. I do my research.
Yes, I know it.
Climbing.
Not only do you research, you research your research. That's why you're the behind the scene guys.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you're gonna dwell on.
I got a face made for radio. That's
How
why.
many burner accounts you got on there?
on what? On
25?
At least 6. At least 6. So we're probably at like 102. So thank you guys. 104, 102 ish.
How long is the giveaway open for?
Until somebody puts their name in the
Yo, there's one name in there. I'll let you know that.
Nice.
Right here.
Did
State Farm. Yeah.
So here's the thing.
I can't see any of the comments though. When I
Yeah.
look
Yeah,
at
what is
comments,
up
it
with
says
that?
there's 2
I saw that.
comments and you can't see them.
Yeah.
See,
I
I'm wondering.
noticed
I
that.
wonder if people put their handles if it's getting
Filtered.
like filtered.
Well, you can be able to figure that out.
Yeah,
Like,
I
mean,
thought.
From
I was
my-
like, oh, maybe.
I'll have you
because
take a look at it because I can't. It doesn't give me an option for that shit. Like
Okay.
to look at the comments. It just gives me. So I went and I put just as a test. I put,
Go ahead and tell me your password real quick.
It's PASWORD.
Pass.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You
Exclamation if you need it sometimes. This
get one
bullshit.
exclamation.
Yeah, I don't understand that shit, but okay. We digress. What was the topic?
You were talking about speech writing and Jon Favreau and cut me off. As you should.
Damn, I was gonna. Oh, wait, I lost it.
I'm gonna go pee.
There was something I was gonna talk about, and I thought I sent it to you. Oh, it was Trevor Noah going back, not going, yeah, kind of.
Oh yeah, we were talking about.
touting
he
Trump.
said-
You just said Trump right now, which I was
Correct.
You're saying like Trump, what? His,
I would say impressive thing about Trump is he would like wing his speeches. Like he was known for just off the cuff doing his thing.
businessman. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
he stood in front
say
of
what
boards
you think
over and
about
over.
Donald Trump, and I'm not a big fan of him, but dude
Not a fan at all.
is one of the best negotiators
Businessman.
ever. I mean, yeah, he's a great businessman. Oh, I mean, you know how to make money.
Know what a businessman is?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you need from a businessman other than know how to make money?
I mean, correct. I
Not only
mean,
that, he not only did he know how to make money, he knew how to get rid of debt. You know what I mean? Whether it was ethical or not, he knew how to
yeah,
get rid
correct,
of debt.
exactly.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's interesting shit for sure.
And he can obviously build up a base and feed it. So that's why he was so successful. He still is
Have you
successful.
seen that video of him shaking Putin's hand?
Oh yeah, where he like
And he
yanks
fucking
him in.
pulls him.
Yeah,
Like it's shit like that where you're just kind of like, it's bulldog shit like that you get in the business in business.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like
Well,
how-
like I think there's the video of him. There is a video of him, but I think it was like the G7 summit,
Mhm.
and there's like a bunch of leaders.
Oh yeah, and he fucking cuts his way through.
he's
Yeah,
like
get the fuck out of the way.
yanks
Yeah.
dude back,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like just steps in front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's shit like that, like making sure your presence is known type
and
shit.
a lot of people are just like, that's what I want in my president. You know, it's like just that.
Now,
correct.
but a lot of people are like, how disrespectful is that shit? Or like, how is
At
you
the
know-
time,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're like,
they're like,
oh,
oh,
look
what
how
a
arrogant
douche.
and how cocky he is.
yeah, what a douche.
But then you realize the value of that kind of shit when you're in situations like you are now, and you're just kind of like, I don't want my president stumbling across a yard with a mask on with nobody around him, and you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, the fuck, man. But at the same time, then don't vote an 80-year-old man in the
Correct.
presidency. I can't really blame that guy for it. You know what I mean? Like, so to be honest with you, I am not a fan of Biden by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think he should be getting as much of the fucking heat that he's getting, because it's like, what the fuck did you expect putting this guy into office?
Correct. I mean,
You know, it's like, if anything, who I think should be getting the heat, to be honest with you, is Kamala.
oh, definitely.
As a VP, it's like, especially as a VP to someone that you know isn't the strongest presidential, I don't want to say candidate, but front man, you know, it's like you should be able to back him up and show some strength.
And yeah, kind of not take lead, but like just show some strength.
Yeah,
like you said.
yeah,
I mean,
support.
her speeches and her going overseas and speaking like with the Polish leader. It's like, oh my God,
Mm.
like I was never really a fan of Kamala. Not a big fan of Joe Biden, but between him and Donald Trump, I voted Joe Biden.
You don't need to say that. We know.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
We know.
But I mean, yeah, I was as soon as Joe Biden got the nomination for the DNC, I was like, oh my God, like between the two, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I was a bit disappointed in the whole process at that point. But yeah, it's frustrating, especially with Kamala. I mean, she's shown no sign of being somebody I'd be like proud to get behind
Right.
ever.
No bomb
I
in
mean,
her.
she had a bad presidential campaign
Yeah.
when she was trying to run.
Yeah.
And like all her staff left, and it was just like a train wreck. And then they actually picked her as vice president.
Right.
It was more of a
It's political.
upsetting thing for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was political. It helped get.
And no point where you're like, I'm not gonna vote, or cast your vote for like a throwaway vote. Why don't you
I-
write in Bernie?
You know what? I mean, you could have done it, but it's like not voting. What would that have done? I mean,
I voted
did I
for
want
JoJo.
Donald Trump? No, I didn't want Donald Trump. So that's why I did what I did.
Well, I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
But low key, I think a lot of people did that with Trump.
Oh, you know what? The more I
First
talk
time
to
around.
people, definitely.
First time around, it's
I
like
mean,
I don't want Hillary.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, and that's why I like just reading headlines and just kind of taking the gist of things. It's like, oh, well, you're a fucking Trump supporter. You voted Trump. You know, you're
support
all about
everything. Yeah.
him.
You
Yeah, exactly. Just like
wholeheartedly,
what's
100%.
happening now with Biden voters. It's like there's people who are scratching their heads
But
like,
there are some of those out there that are Biden supporters, like 100% Biden supporters with what the fuck is going on. And like, thank you for your visit, Mrs. First or Mrs. VP and or Madam VP. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. You know who you are. That shit annoys the fuck out of me because it's like, let's be realistic. Come on, man. Like, or woman. Like, seriously? Like, I know hardcore leftists, or not leftist, Democrats. Hardcore Democrats. Lifetime Democrats. They're like, yeah, this is our Trump president.
yeah.
You know, where a lot of conservatives are like, fuck, man, like, I don't like the guy, but he's our Republican, you know, representative, and it is what it is. And ultimately, they had shit that they could, like, there was shit that you could back up. Like, I mean, look at the economy, look at unemployment, look at this. Like, there's little things that you could kind of tote about it. And, like, now you can look back and say, like, and look at how he kind of, like, stood firm and he had presence, you know, where, you know, other countries didn't want to fuck with us. You know, I mean, standing in front of the North Korean dictator and holding meetings with them, you know what I mean, where they actually had that kind of respect. And then you have now even oil tycoons won't even answer your fucking phone.
Yeah.
You know, it's like shit's kind of depressing, you know what I mean? But again, I don't fault the dude so much because it's like you guys knew what the fuck you were doing when you voted him in office. Like, what did you guys expect?
I mean, usually people look as their president, they do age. I mean, you can look at the past one. It's like when they get
Obama after 4 years
sworn
and then
in.
Obama after 8 years is like he was gray.
I mean, Bush, same thing. I
Well,
mean,
but yeah,
they all go through that.
Yeah, but
I
white
mean,
people don't age that bad.
Joe Biden, I mean, he's been in a year, and he looks bad. Dude looks.
One thing that
I mean, he's already.
one thing that I will
looking
say is that when they were
old.
doing the all the like when they were going around and they were like campaigning, is he did seem a lot more put together compared to now.
Yeah.
Now he just seems really kind of like lost.
He's like drained and lost. Yeah.
I don't even think, but how much of that shit do you think he's actually dealing with? You know, I think a lot of it's the internet. I think he's just deteriorated like that kind of naturally. You know,
I think. I mean, he's got a pretty taxing schedule. I mean, for any human being to kind of go through that schedule and even just like make appearances, even if he's not.
What appearances though? They're all sets that he sits on, and he's
Yeah.
just like kind of like, you know, his State of the Union address wasn't until what, 2 years into his, in the second year of his, you know, it's like
he's like the least.
Yeah, he doesn't do any of the press.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out there and he doesn't talk to any of the press. So it's like really all it is like every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, but again, for a 70-something-year-old, almost 80-year-old man to be flying on planes and going here,
correct.
flying on planes, going there, and all that
For
shit is
any
super,
human, that'd be pretty taxing and age you. For that dude, especially. I mean, and it's you can see it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it wears on you, but at the same time, that's why you have to have a Mar-a-Lago every once in a while. You know?
Yeah,
you go and
exactly.
escape. And
True that. That's why you need a cigar in the
okay, here's one
Oval
thing.
Office.
In 4 years, Donald Trump didn't seem to have aged at all.
No, I mean, I would say
he looked like dog shit coming into the presidency. We'll go and say that. But I mean, there's something to say about a quarter pounder every day.
with the half a bun.
Yeah. I mean,
he take one bun off. Cut some pounds.
I think if anything, he's taken the presidency the easiest of any of the presidents I've seen.
So do you think he'll get the nod for 24?
I don't think. I think he's going to be the propagandist. He's going to be the spokesman to hype everybody up. But I think DeSantis is ultimately the play. You know?
I mean-
Unless they do like a DeSantis and then Trump VP.
It'll be the other way around.
You
There's
think
no
so?
way
I think
because
if
Trump
they're-
won't be anybody's VP.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
Trump, you get 8 years out of him as VP, as opposed to 4 years, just another 4 years from him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Still-
he's
still
that
don't think-
alpha dude that he's not gonna let that.
Yeah,
happen.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Or vice versa. I mean,
Yeah.
or you get 4 years of, or you could do 4 years of DeSantis and then another 8 years of DeSantis as president if things go right.
I
You know?
want Greta to become a U.S. citizen.
I was gonna
And-
ask if
and-
you
and
wanted to
run.
talk about your homegirl. I was gonna ask about it.
I want
And-
Greta to come.
Yeah, I know you
Be a
do.
US
I know you.
citizen
She can't.
her
She's not
rank.
naturally
Yeah.
born. So, yeah,
I
Sweden
think
it
the
is.
Asperger's is gonna.
Only
be
doc,
against-
only documentaries for her. Continuing
Haters
the,
gonna hate.
continuing
haters
the,
gonna hate.
continuing the family tradition.
Mhm.
Speaking of actors,
All-
the Thunbergs,
The Thunberg.
the Thunbergs, the whole fucking family.
Mom is a writer.
he
though,
a
right?
singer.
That's a
Singer, operatic
singer writer.
I guess.
Yeah. She has
Hollywood.
like a book and stuff.
Hollywood. Was it Swedish Hollywood? Switzerland Hollywood?
Wouldn't you want your kid to follow his dreams when he grows old?
No, not if it's it's toting narratives. Not at all.
Well, okay,
Not at all.
but so what does that mean? Not if it's toting narratives, like that's defined by you.
If
the
you're gonna
narrative.
be, I've never want my son to be a politician.
Okay.
Never. If it was his dream for whatever, I'd.
So do you think she is a politician? So we are talking about Greta Thunberg.
No,
So-
we're talking about two different. We're talking about following your dream. Following your dream. Oh well, I want to be. You know,
No, not so much just
I want to
being
be
passionate about something, which is, I mean,
Yeah, you should always be passionate about something. But being passionate about something, and being exploited, you should know the difference.
well, so you're defining her as being exploited by
100%.
parents, I assume.
Parents. I mean, parents obviously because they're
But so
allowing it.
at which age, like, how old does she get where it's like, oh, you know what, she's doing this on her own, or she's brainwashed by her parents thinking this is the narrative that they want her to push?
We got 2 minutes to get into this. You
It's
want-
25. We got 30. You got a couple of minutes.
Okay, so every child is
Because what, she's 19 right now?
fact check. I don't know.
I don't know
She was
how-
like 14.
No, maybe she's
12, 14
14.
when she came out. So I want to say she's probably she's
Maybe-
teenage.
maybe
she's
she's
teen. Maybe
18.
16, 16,
Yeah.
17,
She's 19.
19.
Okay.
Doesn't look like a 19-year-old. That's kind of
Okay,
crazy.
she's 19 though.
Yeah. So 100% she can make her own decisions by legal standards. right?
Yeah, okay.
But
No, but you have this like picture of her just being
she wasn't 19 when she was at that
correct,
that,
definitely.
that summit.
But at one point, don't you think she can be like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going a different route, or she can continue doing it if she's passionate about it.
So
No.
So here's the thing. You get the ball rolling for your kid at 10 years old to be an actor.
Okay.
Right? Or like 2 years old. She was
Okay.
in commercials, then she started doing this, is that her passion or is it your passion that you've indoctrinated her with? And now she's following along to keep you guys happy.
Yeah.
At a certain point, she's gonna burn the hell out. This is what
You can
happens.
say
with
that
the
about
world.
anything. You can say that about
Correct.
acting and stuff.
That's my point. My point is that as parents, you indoctrinate your kids with your beliefs. Your kids grow up; they don't grow up with their own beliefs. You indoctrinate them
Well,
with your beliefs.
Depending
So
on
you
what
try
kind
to
of parent
be-
you are.
So as a parent,
Right.
no, that's in general. Your kids don't learn anything from when they start hitting adolescence. They start listening to their friends. That's why you have the conflict with a lot of kids and parents at adolescence, because it's like, hey, you guys have been telling me this my whole life, and then my friend was telling me this, and now I can kind of like make sense of what they're telling me and what you guys are telling me, and your guys' stuff sounds like bullshit. Santa Claus isn't real. Easter Bunny is bullshit.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9.
Okay, mine are 11 and 9. How old's yours?
A year and a half. He's not making decisions for himself.
Huh? No, he's not making decisions for himself, but
He knows what how he distinguishes what's right and wrong. Whatever daddy tells him is right and wrong. There's some shit that he does where he's sitting there climbing on some shit, and I determine that it's dangerous, so I stop him from doing it. Now, some people might be like, "Oh, you're stunting his development because this is something where he learns to like be more adventurous and he learns how to do all kinds of things." Jordan Peterson talks about it, and it's pretty like great what he talks about. He's like, "You should teach your kids to do dangerous things safely." So they get the experience of doing what dangerous things do and the consequences of dealing with those dangerous things, but they're doing it in a safe manner to where you don't have to worry that they're being reckless, and they will be reckless in the future. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, well, I was talking more about the whole grooming as far as the athletes and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because basically every parent sees like, oh, their kid likes kicking the ball. I'm gonna put them in soccer. It's not like there's some parents that, yeah, no matter what, this is what sport you're playing, no matter what. But there's other ones that will say, you don't want to do this anymore. Cool, let's do something else.
Yeah, like if I was a baseball player, never didn't make it, and just put my girls into softball, expecting them to live my dream. I mean, their parents like that, but I mean,
You don't think you have a bias in that where you didn't make it as this, but it'd be cool to like see your son? Like, you don't think my son can barely hold his head up. I'm exaggerating, but he's got a set of golf clubs already. You don't think that has to do with the fact
you give them the opportunity, but I've never wrestled or been in a fight in my life, and I'm pushing jujitsu on my kids for reasons for
like you said,
their
you're
own
pushing jujitsu on your kids.
Yeah,
You're not just kind of saying, hey,
I'm letting them try it just like golf.
I mean, like, yeah, exactly.
They
like,
choose what they like after trying it.
Like, you used to play basketball, right? As
Yeah, I played
younger.
basketball.
So, like, if Jake was pushing basketball, I mean, as a parent, you just try and see what your kids like. Like, my daughter was like, Dad, I want to play saxophone. I do not play an instrument, and she wanted to play sax. Got a sax, and she's digging it. If that's the avenue she wants to go, if she wants to quit in a month, you know what? I'm trying to let that be.
So she wants to quit in a month after she's already put time in. You've spent the money and you've done all this stuff, and then she's gonna quit in a month. You're gonna have. Her,
I mean,
you're gonna let her quit.
It's gonna suck. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna let her choose. I'm gonna try and push, see if she wants to continue.
You're not
Because I
gonna
don't
push
want
her
her to just.
But it was her passion,
Well,
For that bit.
yeah. If it
right?
It's not a passion. You let them try everything to find
Correct.
out if they want to
Right.
excel in it.
So when you're talking about global warming at 12 years old,
That's a whole different.
Correct.
animal.
why is it a
She's-
whole different animal? You're talking about passions. So she was passionate about it at 12 years old. Now the ball's rolling. Now she's got all this media coverage. She's got all this. She's a global phenomenon.
well, she's 19 now.
She's
So-
19 now. But when the ball was rolling,
Okay.
and I'm willing to say even before that, she didn't have all this narrative. At 12 years old, she learned it all in a week. She didn't go to that summit
You
not
think they're
prepared for that summit.
indoctrinating her from 5 years old?
I mean, I think
Her great grandfather was a scientist that
Oh, I agree with you.
well, this is what I'm saying.
You
Her
got a
great
minute,
grandfather was a scientist. I go what?
You got a minute. And then just
Yeah,
keep
see,
going.
this is why I didn't want to fucking get into this shit.
No, here, I'll do it.
Go,
real quick. I'll do it
reset.
real quick.
Mama has go. All right, mic's on. All right, all right. So you're saying you want your kids to follow their passion. Cool. Your kid picks up a saxophone at 6 years old, passionate about it. Saxophone, I love it, I love it, I love it. After a month or so, or a year or so, 2 years, 3 years of doing saxophone, being phenomenal at saxophone, she's like, I'm over it. I'm done with it. You're not going to sit there and encourage your child, be like, you put all this time into it. You should follow. You have all these people over here saying that you should be a jazz musician.
Of course,
You know,
gotta
you have
talk to
all
them
these.
about
You
it.
have all these people over here that are, that have put money and resources. You are now like the prodigy, prodigy
okay,
that's
that's-
on Tiger Woods. You think Tiger Woods wanted to be a golfer at the age of 2 years old? You think he wanted to be on the Dick Van Dyke Show, whatever fucking show it was, at 2 years old? Like, this is what I want to do? No, it was Earl that was fucking.
Yeah, but you can't compare 2 years old and 12 years old. You're talking about how she was getting into the spotlight where she was 12 or 13, where she was actually starting to realize that she can make thoughts and all that stuff.
At
Yes,
12 years old,
she was groomed with certain
check the
thoughts.
time she was at the summit. I don't want to get this shit fucking wrong. Because I don't want to sit there and see she was 12 years old. She was really like 16 or 17 at the time. And
yeah,
she's
probably
been-
like 12.
I don't know.
Let's
She was a young girl.
Which summit was it?
It was the
You,
Or
Climate
she
change?
said her little
climate
speech.
change summit. It was like one of those. I don't know.
Maybe if you just like
Greta Thunberg.
UN
sorry.
climate
yeah,
summit?
it would be
How
Oh,
dare
that
you.
one when I had the how dare you
Yeah.
crap.
Yes.
yes,
Got it.
Crap.
passionate.
Passionate.
Passion.
A little. Yeah. Passionate. Not indoctrinated at all. You know who else is passionate?
Who?
Little KKK kids that hate black people at 5 years old because I guess they just felt it. They just felt hate at that. They weren't indoctrinated at all, and now they're really passionate about hating.
It says 16.
She was 16 at that summit.
Yeah, most of the stories are from 2019. So, is that the one?
I'm assuming it's the one. The how dare you? And if that's the case, then
How dare you speech? What do you put that? Let's see
Yeah.
when that was.
The how
Okay,
dare
because
you.
I think
Greta's-
because those it went viral, but it was from a couple years earlier.
Yeah, that I remember that one.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll say she was 14, right?
All
not-
those full. It says full text of Greta's how dare you. All of them come back from September 24th of 2019. So 3 years ago.
2019? Okay.
Damn, 3
Fair
years
enough.
ago.
Yeah, dude, that's.
Before
I thought it would be
2017 or
Yeah,
something like that, right?
at least.
Yeah.
But
I
still,
was assuming.
going back to kids and
So
whatnot.
16 years old. 16 years old. I mean, that's an age where you start kind of becoming rebellious and you start kind of like looking into yourself. But the thing is, I don't think she came up with all those ideas in that year.
Okay. I mean, I don't know her. I don't know her parents, so I'm not gonna go and like.
Not to
make
mention, I'm not going around asking 16-year-olds how the fuck they feel about gas prices and how they feel about where the presidency or how do you feel about Biden. I don't care.
How did she get on that? Was she able to get that stage?
That's my question.
I
I think she
understand that.
wrote something. I think it was something that she wrote that like kind of like blew people away kind of thing. Whether she wrote it
So she
or-
was invited to be there.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it was one of those things. That,
I think
so,
her parents pulled strings.
yeah,
Okay.
she was
Grandpappy
Yeah.
pulled his actors.
I mean, the
strings.
fact that your great grandfather was a scientist that studied climate
Well,
change.
of course,
you
yeah,
know,
that's
and
gonna have
came up with
influence
like
on her.
and and again he won a Nobel Prize for it. You know, so it's not like he's just like a washed up like
But-
nobody.
So at one point though, like people grow up and they do make their own decisions, even after the fact what you're saying. So she's 19 now, still doing it. Yeah, maybe it's financially beneficial for her. I don't know. I do not know her story. I do dig that she's still super passionate about it, still doing it, and it triggers a ton of male Americans. it does. Like Tito Ortiz did not stop talking about her. I mean, just random people that I was just like, holy shit! Like
Again,
these
but
guys
I'm
are
not looking
triggered.
for Tito Ortiz about climate change either. You know
correct,
what I mean?
but
It's like,
totally hating on her for totally different reasons.
that was my problem from the beginning. And this is what we talked about on the podcast before. Was like, I don't think a young girl who's mid-teens, pre-teens, whatever it is, should be exposed to that kind of criticism, that kind of shit. Like, as a parent, I'd be like, fuck this. No, I'm sorry. No, I don't want this
yeah,
for
but
my
what
child.
if she? I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but if that was your kid and she was like, no, I want to do this. I don't know their relationship. I could care less.
Mm.
The fact that she keeps doing it, I can respect that, and that's why I dig her. I don't necessarily agree with everything she's saying. I just dig the passion and the fact that it triggers so many people, like it does. And it's like,
Well,
people,
see, here's the
people
thing.
go out of their way to just bash her. And yeah,
Which
mean,
I think is fucking terrible. I think it's terrible. I think that's what bothers me the most about. I don't give a shit what she says about climate change. So many people are fucking misinformed about climate change. We're not fucking coming down. We're not getting to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not something that you have your narrative, I have my narrative. It is what it is. Climate change is forever going to be a debated topic. Same shit with religion. Same shit with politics. Everything. That's not my problem. My problem is you have this young girl going around spreading a narrative, right? Whether she believes it or whether she doesn't. At 16 years old, I believe that fucking Tupac was the greatest fucking philanthropist in fucking history, right? Now, a little bit older, it's kind of like he's very influential. He was very smart. He was a great thinker, but is he, Aristotle? Plato? Is he? You know what I mean? Is he
No.
one of the greatest minds? I don't. Now I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think he was
He's
just a.
influencing mind, though. I mean, he's pretty influential. But
was-
yeah,
yeah.
is he on that level of?
Yeah.
But who? I mean,
You know, a lot. I'm curious to see how he would, like. I wish I could see what he thought about like things like the Black Lives Matter movement now, things like that, because there's a bunch of Cornel West is another like guy that I admire as far as like what he's done for civil rights and like and where he stands. But there's a lot of shit that he says where I'm just kind of like, it seems
I don't agree with it, which is
yeah
I mean,
misinformed.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like, or it seems very like
Something you disagree with, though.
Right. Right.
But that's the beauty in all this. You don't have to agree with everything. I mean, you can formulate your own thoughts, and
so that's my thing with Greta. It's that I don't disagree with how she feels about climate change or how she feels like when she was talking shit about like I sent you the clip when she was talking shit about politicians and like how they're like not doing enough.
yeah.
Like I thought that was was dope.
And
I thought that was dope, but at the same time it was like, why is this much weight being put on this like I feel like we had an agenda. The agenda started to take off, so now she's just kind of like going it, and now she might be
well, like
fame drunk. You know what I mean? Where now she's just kind of like, I have the
or
clout,
maybe
so
she
now.
just digs it and just wants to keep pushing with it. Like
I
there
mean-
are actors who burn out and like collapse. She hasn't done that yet. So
Yeah, there's
I mean,
also Michael Jackson's.
correct,
Yeah, okay.
definitely.
Was he making the right decisions later on in life?
No,
Yeah, but he continued on.
allegedly.
And was it
Allegedly.
was it his passion? Was it his passion? Or was it Joe's passion?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he made a life of it. He became the greatest pop star known to man. But at what cost? His mental health, his life, his livelihood. You know, his ultimately his legacy. You get what I'm saying? Like just because you get,
Potentially his legacy, allegedly.
well, I mean, his shit's tarnished. You know what I mean? No one's looking at Michael Jackson and being like, they don't look at Michael Jackson now the same way they looked at Michael in the early '90s. You get what I'm saying? It's like, no, that dude was losing his mind.
Oh, I think you have two camps to that. There's still diehard Michael Jackson fans.
You can't take
that
away what he
refuse to.
did. You can't take away what he did musically.
But there's people who just refuse to believe any. And there's a large group of those people.
Oh,
So-
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm one of them where I'm thinking like, no, you have that much fame, you have that
Yeah.
much going on.
Once Macaulay comes out and says it, then I'll agree with it.
I mean, he's not in the best mental health either.
If Corey Feldman, Macaulay Culkin.
You're
came
picking
out.
out some winners right here when it comes to fucking mental health.
Well, I mean, Wade Robson, and the other dude,
Cloud chaser,
potentially.
in my opinion.
I mean,
Not potentially,
could
cloud
be.
chaser.
could be.
Cloud chaser. Like he's well documented in a
Yeah,
cloud chaser.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he got all fucking pissed off with Timberlake and Britney
but
and all that other
maybe
shit.
maybe he did get abused. I don't know.
Maybe
but-
he deserved it.
I still like Man in the Mirror.
But that's the
It's a
thing.
good jam.
So some people can separate what he did musically and what he did in his private life.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I mean, to be an artist, let alone an artist on that caliber, you have to be a certain type of person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot, and there's a reason a lot of people don't make it.
I don't understand. I was
There's a lot of reason that people don't make it in show business, and a lot of it's because they're not willing to do what a lot of people are willing to do or sacrifice to make it in show business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, fuck it. Like, no, I'd rather spend that time with my family, or I'd rather, like it's too much of a grind, too much shit going on that it's like, I don't want to lose. I have better things to do with that time. As much as I love acting, as much as I love whatever, I'm not willing to sell out or do all the things that they
Yeah.
want you to do. And this is well documented in the industry. It's like, that's why people get all fucked up when it comes to the industry. That being said, you look back and you like try to like equate those people's mentality to how you think of it as a regular person. It's just completely different.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Going back to Greta Thunberg, though.
let's go back.
I mean, I think we came to
Let the record show that it wasn't Greta that got me fired up and pissed off. It was Roman being head over heels in love with the chick that I was just kind of like,
I'm not like head over heels in love with her. I just like respect.
you're just her
her.
biggest
There's a bunch of
cheerleader.
people who hate on her. Yeah. No, but like
So-
you
so
said,
here's-
she's not
here's my
afraid to.
I think that your response is to the people that hate on her, not so much that you care for Greta Thunberg so much. You're just kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool, but you're like, oh, everyone's hating on her. Fuck those people, and because
Okay,
you're like, fuck those
definitely.
people, you're like doubling down on her.
Yeah,
and I'm just kind of like,
kinda
why are you
just-
doubling down on this
I
chick
kind
so
of
hard?
just like push buttons with her because it's like people get triggered,
Yeah.
and it's like, why is so much hate on her? Like,
So ultimately, this whole conversation is me being disappointed in the fact that you double down on her so much. Where it's like, bro, I hold you at higher esteem for you to be so like, yeah, it'd be like me talking to like a Trumper and just like being like, Trump, 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 Trump. And I'm like, bro, relax. Trump does shitty things. He's kind of fucked up. He's kind of a piece of shit at times. He's a businessman. I expect it from him, so I get it. I know what we signed up for. So yeah, or Biden, 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 Biden. Bro, I get it. You're a Democrat, but Biden's fucking up. You need to be able to fucking realize and accept that. So when you
So-
were like doubling down on Greta, I was like, bro, she's still just a fucking teenager talking about some shit that she was either indoctrinated with or was pushed heavily on her to where she believes it, in a sense. Not saying she's right or wrong.
okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like,
so just like theoretically, she's 30, still pushing the narrative. What do you think then? Like, is she grown up enough, or is she the Michael Jackson?
it's Michael Jackson buying a fucking chimp
Okay.
or a fucking giraffe.
So that you're just convinced she's just like brainwashed by her family.
I don't think she's brainwashed. I don't like
And-
I don't want to say brainwashed because there's a lot of people that think the way she thinks. You know what I mean? And that's fine. You can think the way you think and be so convicted in the way you think. To me, it's naive. It's very arrogant. You know, like I don't know. No one knows. The top scientists in the world don't know why the fuck shit's changing the way it is. They have their theories, and their theories pan out sometimes. Sometimes they don't pan out. There's so many fucking variables that we don't know about to where we're sitting there and we're toting on this shit and you're pushing narratives now. Like, for
So
instance,
you're saying she's unqualified in making uninformed decisions to push what she
she's
wants?
qualified to make uninformed decisions, but should we be fucking making
Hers are just
so-
all opinions. That's it. That's
they're
all
all
they
opinions. It's
Well,
all opinions.
she does back them by some research. She's not just going blind saying,
Yeah,
you know, I think this.
yes, and research would tell us that
So, but
milk
under that
does a body
assumption,
good.
under that, you're basically saying, if you think either one of these views, don't push the narrative because nobody knows what is right.
Yeah, you can't die on a hill when
Well,
you know what I mean when it comes to climate change.
Well,
So it's like
that's why
so
I
when
dig her passion, because she's like, you know what,
I'm gonna die on this hill,
I like this, so I'm gonna fight for this.
and she decided that at 16 years old.
And she's
Maybe
still saying it
earlier,
at 19.
maybe earlier. Yeah, Michael Jackson was still fucking
I mean, you can
buying
use
chimps
that.
at 50 years old
I mean, I don't know.
and
I just
popping
don't agree.
colada pins like it was fucking nothing.
I mean,
Like,
so you're saying Greta Thunberg is a Michael Jackson?
no, I would never give her that much fucking credit. I
Okay.
mean, but she
Well,
gets, but
you're
she,
using it as an
but
example.
she garnishes. I'm using an extreme as an example.
Yeah, definitely.
of
Which
what-
is
I mean,
convenient.
I can make it more relatable, where you could say kind of like a child actor. You know what I mean? Where
But you're just painting like the grimmest picture for her. Like, what if you flipped it? Like, what would be that case? What would she do to convince you? Like, oh, you know what? That's cool.
see,
Or-
I think the problem is you think that I have a problem with Greta. I don't have a problem with Greta. I have a problem with how Greta was being used by either her parents or
well,
whatever.
so what happens where you're like, oh, dang, she grew up here. I don't know. Like, she grew up and wised up, and now she's thinking on her own. Is there any?
I mean, I'd say right now she's thinking on her own, you know, because right now like the thing you sent where she's talking about women's rights, right? Where she's talking, or not women's rights, she's talking about it was
like
National Women's Day,
yeah.
and she was talking about gender equality,
Mm.
right? Again, I'm just kind of like, that's just another narrative. Now, if she was saying like, hey, it's Natural Women's Day, but as a woman and since we're celebrating women, I want to bring more attention to global climate change and blah 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 blah. And she was like still like beating that drum. I'd be like, holy shit! Like she's taking this kind of platform when it comes to like let's focus on this, and she's still bringing it back to she's trying to transcend it to what she started off with, which is global climate change, right? But now she's like, oh, gender equality. And I was like, oh, now you're just pushing more agendas. Cool.
Well,
that's
it was
fun.
Women's International Women's
I guess
Day.
people don't give a shit about.
But you didn't think her saying, okay, let's not just celebrate this. Let's like have action to make it worth something. That's the message I got. Like, because it's true that there's a gender wage gap. So I mean that's a real thing. She's bringing awareness to it on International Women's Day.
There's a reason for the gender wage gap.
Okay, well,
and it has nothing to do with women not being qualified or not having, but there's certain things that, I mean, I'm not fucking what's his name, Ben Shapiro can break it down for you exactly how he can say more eloquently than I can, but basically you have to take into account certain things like maternity leave and other things that women have. That so so if I'm a businessman and I'm looking at two candidates, regardless of their gender, and this one's telling me, hey, there may be a possibility that I have to be out for anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months because of a situation that I may have, a medical situation I have that you can't do anything about, and you have another one over here, and it's like, as a businessman, financially, it makes more sense for me to go with the one, or put more value into the one that I have for the entire year without that stipulation, regardless of gender. Don't think woman and men. I'm just saying, if I come in and I'm saying I'm applying for this job, but hey, just so you know, 3 months, I might have to be gone, and you'll still have to pay me, but you're not gonna get any work out of me. So
that's
keep
the
that
justification for the.
That's one of the justifications. That's one of the reasons.
I mean, if you lined them all up, we're not going to do that now, probably. Yeah. I mean, it's just too much. That is a scenario that works conveniently in the favor of. But I mean, if a woman doesn't get pregnant, she's going to get docked because it's like, oh well, there's potential
She doesn't get docked.
Well,
you just come to the agreement that, look,
if you get pregnant,
your services, I can only afford to pay you X amount for your services, because I have to keep in mind there may be the possibility that I may lose you for 6 months or for 3 months.
These are scenarios that, I mean, just kind of.
It's what fucking businessmen think of. It's what capitalists think of.
Okay, but does that actually happen now? Like, people actually do that?
No, it's been structured that way. So it's like, that's why you see those gaps. And then even if you look at like wage, but you come in when it comes to like frontline work, you coming in as a woman and coming in as a man makes no difference. You're getting paid what the frontline. There's nobody at X job that is coming in and it's like, oh, you're a woman. Okay, we're starting you at $11. We're gonna start him at $13.
Yeah, these conversations are more sort of like career based. I mean, if you're a frontline worker,
it's more people that are, when you get to like management and upper level.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's like here, but again, there's other variables that people don't like to talk about, and other variables that it's more nuanced is what I'm saying. It's way more nuanced than people talk about, because they sit there and they like to say, oh no, it's just unfair. They're just being unfair.
I definitely get that there is more to the argument. It's not just as simple as like, oh, women 100%. Just get paid less.
Right.
But there are definite biases in the whole thing.
In China,
as well. So,
in India, in all over the world. Yeah, there's tons. You know, the United States, not so much. You know, and again, it's based off of this structure where it's like you're gonna have, it's the quality of the employment that you're gonna be able to have. You know, are you gonna be able to count on this person, dependability wise? But they're still gonna be on the books. They're still gonna get paid. You're still gonna have to pay them for the time off, because you can't discriminate in that sense. If it was real discriminatory, it'd be like, oh, you're getting pregnant. Okay, cool. You don't have a job until you come back. So we're not paying you. That's discriminatory. That's saying because.
Well, I'm just curious to like the Ben Shapiro clip, or I don't know, maybe I don't even did a segment on it, but I've never seen it.
He talks about it all the time. It's like it's one of the things that kind of got him. It's one of the his how he talks about like things like that, like and Jordan Peterson talks about it too.
No, I mean, I'd like to see it just so I'm.
Send you a link.
Definitely.
No, but it's like it's interesting shit where you're like, yeah, if anything, it makes you realize that it's more nuanced than what the narrative is pushing. You get what I'm saying? Where it's like they're just like look at the
that's
numbers,
like everything.
look at the
though.
stats.
Like it's like
This is this and this is this.
all the
this
political
is this. It's like,
sides you go to. I mean, you can see a side. You can see the other side if you actually took the time to look into it.
yeah.
So
or
I mean,
if you go into the nuance of everything, you start realizing, oh shit.
but
like,
then you can also see the nuance for the other side.
for sure.
So
if you are not blinded or pushing the narrative, which is what bothers me about Greta, is that you just want to push this narrative. You're not looking at the other side and being like, hey guys, so keep it in mind this, that, and the other. Like, you wouldn't need to put that post out unless you were pushing a narrative. And that narrative is, she clearly hasn't seen the Ben Shapiro piece. She clearly hasn't seen these things where they talk about the nuance that's in there. Because then if you were and you were educated, you'd be like, I'm not going to make this post because it's way more nuanced than it is. And I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't want to look like I'm talking out of ignorance. So that's what bothers me.
well, you can say that about Ben Shapiro's post. He doesn't do a great job of saying the other side. Just like anybody who's making a point. Most people nowadays are just doing like the Instagram blasts that show one side, like the Dan Bongino's.
Well,
of the,
so
the
okay,
world.
so the difference, I would say, with Ben Shapiro is that it's like a Q&A. So they're questioning him on his belief, and he's saying this is my.
He's
belief.
saying his side, yeah.
Yeah, and he's saying based off of this research that I've done, and based off of these things.
But does he give the other side?
And he's saying this is the nuance of what it is, and he'll say, what you guys consider a gender gap is not a gender gap, or what the narrative is saying is a gender gap is not a gender gap, and this is why. This is
Ben Shapiro's a smart dude and he's a really good talker.
right.
Like he's pretty cool.
Not
in
that I'm a huge fucking Ben Shapiro fan.
Neither,
but
nor am I.
But it's like,
Um,
but when you have someone that sits there and like delves
Actually
into
did the
that
research
shit and researches and they can sit
which-
there and say, look, all I'm saying is it's more nuanced than what you guys are talking, okay? And
enough.
and you guys are just
which is that?
you guys are falling into this narrative, and it's fucking annoying that you guys are falling into this narrative.
Yeah.
So look into like, did you know about this? Did you know about this? Okay, until you know about all that shit and you have an argument on the other side, I don't want to. It's kind of changed. Like
That's like everything.
like Steven Crowder changed my mind, right? He's not so much. He does to a certain extent push a narrative, and he does it out of spite. I think it's that kind of like, oh, she's getting a lot of hate, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna like pump, like double down on her, right? But it's kind of like, I know I am more educated than you are in what you're saying, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna hear your argument and I'm gonna shit on your argument and show you that you are less educated on the topic than I am. And that's why.
I mean, like a Candace Owens, right? That's what she's great at. She knows her shit. She's a great debater and can squash most people in a debate because she.
But again, but then you go into like the Mayweather syndrome where it's like, are you cherry picking? Not cherry picking, but like,
Correct.
are you hand selecting
Exactly.
who you're gonna fucking demolish? Because you know, like, are you gonna sit there and have? We talked about this with the Talib Kweli and the Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk shit to Cardi B because Cardi B is not clearly uneducated on it.
Correct.
Talib Kweli might be a little bit, or actually, I think
she ain't gonna try and fuck with Dave Chappelle.
yeah, Dave Chappelle. But the thing is, that's kind of weird too because I don't think Dave Chappelle is super kind of like educated on the topics he's talking about. I think he's just really good at like making you look like an idiot.
That's why it doesn't suit her narrative. It doesn't suit her image
Right.
to go against somebody like
Because
that.
he might just be like, "Shut up, you stank bitch," and then be like,
and then win the whole
and then
drop-
like,
mic drop.
oh, and then
Mic
it's like,
drop
well,
and
what was
leave.
the purpose of me even
Correct.
saying anything? Because
Correct.
you got the crowd already. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So Trey Turner.
So Kershaw. Kershaw's coming back. Did we do a show? Oh, we already did a show to reset, huh?
Yeah, that would have been like the second one. So you got 3 minutes if you want to just start wrapping shit up.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you tuned in, sorry about the rant at the end there.
I like the first episode that was.
Yeah, the
no
one that you
audio.
guys won't see is probably the most quality episode we've ever had. Sorry, you guys will never see that, but it is what it is. But thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for subscribing. Comment in last episode, episode 20, if you want to win the giveaway. If not, then cool. I don't have to give any
we'll
away.
get it. We'll treat each other.
Exactly. All right. Thank you guys. See you later. Shoots.
And I've been down.